Hello, everyone. Rachel Jensen here, broker owner of Luna Realty Belize in the beautiful country of Belize. We're on question number 102 today of our In the Inbox series. This is a series that we've been doing for about a year and a half now, where we collect the questions that have been asked to us through channels like WhatsApp, through our YouTube comments, through emails, and we get the answers to you. Some of them are common questions, ones that you may have on your mind. Others may be ones that you had no idea to even ask. So with this one, we're answering from Antoinette. It's question number 102. And she said, should I use a buyer's agent when buying real estate in Belize? Should I use a buyer's agent when buying real estate in Belize? This is a great question. And do note that buyer's agents and listing agents are two completely different roles. And because we do not have a central MLS here, we do not have one website that has all of the listings on it. What we tend to find is buyers are going to each individual listing agent asking questions, and they don't tend to work with one person specifically. And I get it. Here, it's a bit of a different world than it is in many developed countries, that it is in North America. However, we do tend to see that we follow similar practices, even though we don't have that Zillow, even though we don't have the Realtor.com or that big MLS that other countries have. Now, with that being said, I would say the answer is yes, you should use a buyer's agent. And I'd say most real estate agents can act as your buyer's agent. And I'm going to give you a list of questions that you should ask when you're interviewing buyer's agents. But these would be the top 3 reasons that I would recommend you looking for one. One is, here in Belize, there's no extra cost to you most of the time. Right? I'd say with 99.9% of the transactions that are happening here in Belize, the commission is a responsibility paid for by the seller. Of course, you'll want to confirm that with the agent as you're talking to them, but that commission is an expense paid for by the seller. So there is no reason for you not to be working with a seller's agent, because ultimately they'll be looking out for your best interest. And the good ones will be showing you the whole market, not just the listings that they have. And that brings me to the list of questions that I would recommend you ask when you're talking to different agents to see if they could be your buyer's agents. So one is, will you show me properties that aren't yours, or aren't your listings, or aren't listed through the brokerage that you're with? Some agents will only push their listings or their brokerage's listings. When you talk to the agent, just ask them, are you able to show me properties that are not listed with your real estate brokerage? And hopefully they're able to say yes. I know there are some real estate companies here that work exclusively for a specific development, so they're not able to show you other properties. But that would be one of the first questions that I would ask, because you want to get a full scope of what's on the market. The second question I would recommend asking is, how long have you been in Belize? How long have you been living in Belize? And like I mentioned before, because we don't have an MLS, we don't have recorded pricing history of what properties sell for, experience is going to matter. Experience is going to matter. You know, I can go back in my brain or go back to my files of 5 years ago, what condos were selling for at Grand Bayman, where somebody who just got here to the islands probably won't have that sort of information as likely at their fingertips. Now, especially too with agents that have been in the industry for a while or living here for a while, they tend to build relationships. Belize is a very relationship-based country. Amber Grit's Key specifically, I would say the realtors here really do tend to work very well together. So if they've been in the industry, if they're well respected, then they are going to be able to get information for you that maybe somebody who's newer isn't. And I'm not saying that to discredit any of the new agents. In fact, I don't think you actually even need to be a real estate agent here for all that long to do well. I think that it's always going to be depending on your relationships and how well received you are in the market. In addition to that is, what does the process look like? So it's going to be important for you to talk to the buyer's agent to understand what the closing process is going to look like how they're going to be able to assist you and accommodate you. How do you communicate with them? Are they only going to be available, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5? Are they only going to be available through email? Do they respond to WhatsApp? These are sort of questions that are going to be important for you, because this is where the trust will be. You're trusting them to find you the right property, but they're also going to be trusting you that you're sharing information with them. And this is something that, we tend to see quite a bit. When you find your buyer's agent, make sure you're honest with your buyer's agent, right? You're going to be working with them, hopefully, likely exclusively, because you want them to also be providing you with information and having you on the forefront of what they're looking for. So communication is going to be so critically important. You want to make sure that you have good communication with your buyer's agent from the get-go. Now, because of everything going on with NAR and the lawsuit that they had in the States last year, 2024, it may not be uncommon for your buyer's agent to ask you to sign an exclusive buyer's agency agreement with them. That will help ensure that you have a solid relationship, a great relationship where you're both mutually working for each other. So don't be surprised if they ask you to sign that. If you're not necessarily comfortable to sign that right away, what I would recommend is, reaching out to different agents, having that interview with them, and seeing where it is you're finding you have the best fit and the best connection. So these are just some tidbits, but yes, of course, I would recommend you work with a buyer's agent. They're looking out for your best interest, and ideally they'll be honest with you, and you'll be able to be honest with them about what you're looking for and what you want to accomplish. With that, we have a lot of resources for you. Feel free to reach out. For this specific one is for foreigners who are looking at real estate in Belize. It's a must-have guide that I would keep there by your side, whether you print it or you're just looking through it on your computer. There's information in here that is going to be really, really important for you as you're going through that buying process. You can request it via email, info@lunarealtybelize.com, info@lunarealtybelize.com. Our team will email that over to you. And in addition to that, we have other resources that we'll send your way. That will be very handy. So with that, folks, have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for tuning into question 102, and we'll see you back next week. Bye-bye.